Hi and welcome to the best thing you watch. This is certainly being the best thing we watch. It has been now for about 2 years. We're in our second Christmas. I'm very excited to talk about what we got going on this week. Coming up next week, we have our Christmas special, which will be interesting. We're going to be talking about one of our favorite Christmas movies. We're going to be talking about a very Star Wars-ish, maybe something to do with Star Wars. Which I've been assured is amazing. So if it's not, we'll blame Chris. For our Patreon this week, we are going to be talking about what, Chris?
We are ranking our top three each, A Christmas Carol adaptations, from which there are many to choose from.
I was researching that today, preparing, and I was like, holy crap, there's a lot. There's a lot of Scrooged humbug.
Yeah, there are a ton of them. So yeah, it'll be fun to see what each of us come up with. Exactly.
And on New Year's Day, because we don't want to be re-recording or recording, we also want to have a little bit of a break. I've written a D&D one-shot adventure, which we have experienced already, and we're going to be releasing that fully on the 1st, which I believe is the Sunday when we release our stuff. We had a lot of fun with that. I'm excited for everybody. Did you enjoy yourself, Chris?
I loved it. Yeah, no, I'm so looking forward to you writing another one. This was great. This is my first time ever playing, so I'm a complete noob and an idiot at it, but I had fun.
You're officially a D&D player. Well done.
Yes.
And then our including all the outtakes and mess ups, we're gonna put the full bit in our Patreon. So enjoy that. But usually, if you're with us, you know that we do movie quotes, and it has been me for a while, but we've changed over the last few weeks. It's been tough going, because Chris's movie, yeah, man, my brain just goes, and I think a lot of people in the comments are also going, he just made that up, right? It's just a made-up movie.
You'll never know.
And then obviously we're going to talk about the best things that we watched this week, and it's going to be an interesting. So thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the best thing you watch, Chris. Movies and Munchies. Yes. I love your hat with your ears. It's so cool. Yes,
yeah.
For the audio, he's just flicking them weirdly.
Yeah. Yes, it's a Santa hat-ish type of toque with elf ears that stick off the sides.
I love. Can you explain toque? Because I only came into that recently.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So a beanie. But when I worked in radio, we had beanies, and there was this band from Canada, and they had come in, and we were giving away merch. We were, we took them into the merch closet and said, "Hey, what do you want? You want any of this?" And they're like, "Ooh, a toque." And I'm like, "What's a toque?" And I like the word. It sounds cool. I like saying it. And they're like, "It goes on your head." And they show, they picked it up, and I'm like, "Oh, a beanie. Yeah, toque." Okay. So
you one fine beavery.
Take off.
I love it. A toque. Yeah, it almost sounds Scottish. A toque. A toque.
Yeah, it could be. Yes. I wish I could do a Scottish accent, but
anyway, before we jump into the best thing we watched, have you got some movie quote quiz? Good.
I do, and we had a winner also. Which
we did. We should talk about
means that means Chris didn't get fired.
I took it for granted that nobody won. Okay, cool.
Yes, congratulations to Petros Karamoutis. I hope I pronounced your name right. But we got the answers to last week's quiz were Knives Out, Avengers Endgame, and then Spaceballs.
Spaceballs, son of I knew it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's annoying.
Oh, okay. So this week I've also gone, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe you'll get it. Maybe you won't. I don't know. Some of them may sound very familiar, though. I think that's where it's going to be probably the most. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. Time to die.
Cool.
That's only half the quote, because the full quote first is long, but then I think gives it really, really away. So there you go.
Sure.
Yeah, no? Okay. Does it ring a bell?
No.
Okay.
Like I wanted to say No Time to Die, but that's too obvious and on the nose, so.
Yeah. Yes. No, you'll kick yourself later.
Great. I will ask somebody else to do that. It's quite hard to kick yourself.
Okay, number 2. I am not in danger. I am the danger.
Sounds old.
Not too old. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, last one. But Jack gave me the perfect gift. Excuse me. Let me start over so I can actually speak the right words. But Jack gave me the perfect gift, a stamp in my passport. He took me to Florence for our honeymoon. I guess you might say he gave me the world.
I think I know this one.
Okay. I love to quote this movie. This is a highly quotable movie in our house.
Okay.
So,
Maybe it's not the one I'm thinking of then.
It's a Christmas movie. There's a hint.
Oh. Maybe I do know it. Okay. But not the one I'm thinking of. Okay. Cool. All right. Let us know in the comments what you think those 3 are. If you think it's number 1, you're fired. Number 2, you're fired. Number 3, you're fired. Let us know. You know, we're open to suggestions as well as what you think the answers are.
I listen to feedback. I can accept it.
We'll take it on board. Not saying we'll do it.
But if the consensus, the people have spoken.
Okay, so for my question this week, I've been watching some comfort movies because I just needed some comfort movies. And one of them that I started this week, well, 2 of them we started the Harry Potter franchise. We've done the first 3, and I've done the first extended edition of The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. So this is going to be quite hard, but let's see if you can do it. Taking away the protagonists, who are your top 2 favorite characters? Please rank them.
In which movie?
In the Harry Potter movie franchise, and the Lord of the Rings.
Lord. Okay.
No protagonists allowed.
And how many? Just one, the top?
Unos, dos, 2.
2. Top 2. Okay, so for Harry Potter, oh dang, no, oh shoot! I thought I was confident there for a second.
It's tricky.
It
depends
Snape
on what you think is a main protagonist.
I'm going Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Dumbledore.
Yeah.
As the main, they're typically the main story protagonist. Now, Dumbledore, obviously not as much as the story.
He's not
goes
around
along,
as much, but he's definitely the franchise is like.
Yeah. So Snape would be number 1 for me. And oh goodness,
forever.
Oh gosh. See, this sucks. Because I would go, I like...
This is not hard for me. I know my 2 favorites.
Really?
Yeah.
See, because I love Sirius.
Yeah.
Hagrid.
Yeah.
Molly.
Molly? What?
Weasley, the mom.
Oh. Molly. Okay. Yeah, she's incredible.
There was somebody else. Oh, McGonagall.
Yes.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Hagrid.
All right. So Severus and Hagrid.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't choose Severus because I considered him to be a main protagonist. But that's fine. You choose him. I've gone Dobby.
Oh, dang
my
it.
absolute favorite, and the heartbreak that I feel every time. Like I can't even mention it. I don't even want to talk about it. Like I just know my brain almost shuts it off and goes no. It's almost as bad as when Dumbledore falls. Yeah, it's just like Or what's his face from the Goblet of
Cedric.
Yeah, like we hardly know him, but it hurt.
Yeah,
because of the father's wailing. It was and
My son.
yeah, that's my son. And Luna Lovegood.
Holy crap!
Absolutely love her character.
Nope, I'm changing my answer. Luna is my number one. Oh my goodness, I love her. She puts a smile on my face every time she's on screen.
I mean, that's a character that's gone through so much as a fan, but she's still so awesome to be around. A little bit loopy, but that's what makes her character awesome.
The best. Yes.
And, Master has given Dobby a sock? Come on.
Dude. Oh, man. Yeah, no, that's so good. Oh, okay. So then we move on to Lord of the Rings.
Which is why I asked, who are not the protagonists? Because it's the Fellowship of the Ring. They're all the protagonists.
They're all the protagonists. Yeah. Are we just going Fellowship? Are we just going Fellowship, or are we going...
No, I was going for the three. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
So we're going to say the Hobbits. Let me just set the boundaries a bit. The Hobbits in the Fellowship.
Yeah.
You can't choose them. You can't choose Gandalf. You can't choose Strider. And you can't choose Saruman or the Eye or Smeagol or Samwise. I mean, yeah, obviously he's a Hobbit. I think...
Or Gimli.
Or Gimli. Or Legolas. Any of them in their original... But everybody else, I think, is up for grabs.
Okay. Oh, poo. What's his name? Shoot. He has a small role. He's Sean Bean's brother in it. He's the guy in 300 who is telling us the story. He's John Noble's son, who John Noble sends out to basically to die.
Oh, Flip. I know who you're talking about.
I can't write.
That
Boromir?
Boromir?
Theramir? Who?
It's not Boromir. It's
Theramir then.
Theramir. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he's eating the food and he's eating the tomato.
And it's Billy Boyd is singing. Also, that's the thing that makes it. Billy Boyd, just oh my goodness,
so sad. I wanted to punch him so much.
Oh, stop just it! What a well-made scene there.
Yeah, so, it's incredible. Yeah,
him and then is her name? Crap, Arwen or Eowyn? Eowyn. I am no man.
I am no man.
Yeah. Her, yes.
Yeah, she's definitely up there. She was my number 2 for a while because I love that. For me, mine's really random and comes from one particular scene in one movie, and I don't know that he has a name, but he's an orc that there's 2. It's during the fighting, and it's near the beginning of the 2 towers, and Pippin they've been taken, and it's fighting at night, and they're crawling away, and there's one orc that just wants to eat them and follows them right into the trees. That whole scene is harrowing because of that orc. That orc is incredible. I've always loved that scene, and I just love his he's spitting it. Well, you're gonna be tasty. It's so good.
Hey, so I want you to think about this the next time you watch it. Yeah. To me, he looks exactly like Alice Cooper.
Oh no, what have you done? He really does look like Alice Cooper.
That's all I see. No joke.
Alice Cooper orc. Oh my gosh. Flipping heck.
Okay, well, so I've ruined that for you. Who's your other one?
Well, if we were including the Hobbit trilogy, which I guess we're not, but Radagast is my all-time favorite wizard.
Oh,
I love him, and I like what they did with his character. But again, is she a protagonist? I don't know. But Strider's love,
Oh, yeah, Erwin. Right?
Erwin, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't see much of her, but I like
Arwen.
Arwen. I like what their little bit of story gives Strider so much strength, and the struggle between the other relationship. You had to, in the book, I remember it being so ethereal, like that whole romance was just so magical. And then how they portrayed that on screen, when they originally cast, I was like, really? Liv Tyler for that role? Like,
yeah.
And it's like, she's too young, she doesn't do any meaty roles, no. But when she did it, I was like, holy crap, that's pretty damn incredible. Yeah. Honorable mention to the sniveling weasel that is Wormtongue.
So good.
I hate him, but because of how he plays it, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Brad Dourif just killed it in that.
Yeah, he did, yeah. So let us know your top two. I know it's a hard one, minus the protagonist, whoever you consider to be protagonists, not them. Interesting when you've got to look at the backgrounds.
Yeah, that's a good question. I like that. Very well done. Thank you. That sucks. That's a tough one.
Yeah, it is a tough one. All right. Should we get into...
Let's do it.
All right. You go first.
Okay. This one grew on me incredibly fast. I wasn't sure at the beginning, especially when before I even started watching it, but it is Netflix's The Recruit with Noah Centineo. Dude, right? So we have a quick synopsis. He's a brand new lawyer to the CIA. He's 24 years old. He has no field training, but he gets thrust into the field to do operative stuff, kind of by accident. He never wants to do it. He's not trying to do this. He's not trained to do this. And he's trying to protect the CIA and the country from a former asset who is threatening to just spill all these secrets because she is accused of a major crime. And so she's using that as leverage and stuff. And so it's that whole story that plays out. And honestly, I was a little nervous going in because, I mean, while I like Noah Centineo in the To All the Boys movies, I think he works as that, as that cutesy back and forth type of thing.
I haven't watched them, so I didn't know.
Oh, okay. Well, it is. The first one's really good. I mean, they're all decent, but the first one's really good. But that's a rom-com, and this is not a rom-com. And so I was just kind of like, let's see, can he transition out of that? And dude, he grew on me because of how normal he was. I mean, he fumbles around. He goes in things like unplanned. He gets beat up a lot. So he added so much realism to it and relatability within that character. Even though I can't relate to being a lawyer or to somebody in the CIA, I can relate to new on the job and, not being the superhero guy. So, what'd you think? Because I know you liked this too.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure with the first episode. We were contemplating, like, is this something we really want to watch? This actually, I'm of the frame of mind that it shouldn't work because it has three different series. There are three different series here, or basically different genres that are somehow mixed into one that really work well. You've got the Office type of comedy, dry comedy, that is almost The Office without two characters that don't really have much backstory, but they seem to be wanting to always piss off our main protagonist and get him in trouble. That's their lot in life. And sometimes they're unfunny, sometimes they're just not, sometimes they don't work. I like The Dude because they give us a little bit of his background story that seems to be much darker. Won't go into spoilers because probably a lot of people haven't watched it yet because it's a fairly lengthy, about 8 episodes, I think.
8 episodes, right? Yeah. Each of them like an hour long too.
Yeah. So they're you could enough to sink your teeth in. Then we have the Almost Friends sitcom with the housemates and the love sort of triangle. Each of them, we get to know a bit of them about their relationships. They live in the same area. And then we have the espionage directed by and written by Bourne Identity creators. And you're like, flip, this is way too much. Choose a lane, guys. And yet when he comes down to it and we see him on screen with his lady friend who's going to spill the secrets every time they're on screen together. I'm like, damn, they're electric together.
Well, and it was bugging me at the beginning because the woman who plays Max, Laura Haddock, I was like, you look really familiar and I don't know why. And she's Peter Quill's mom in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
She's done other things, don't get me wrong, but that's where I recognized her from. And so you're right. Their relationship, like, even though it's antagonistic and sometimes even predictable, I grew to really enjoy their dynamic together. And I wanted that's the show I wanted. I wanted them, and luckily we get a lot of that, especially as it goes on, as it progresses down. I mean, we get a lot more of them together, and the action's
it's brutal.
It's bloody and it's violent, and it's filmed really well also. A lot of it, even when you have those quick cuts, like, it's not that blurry type of thing that's trying to obscure the action.
You feel like you've seen everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's adding excitement to it and urgency, but not like just our actors can't fight, so we're hiding this by a whole bunch of
That's the
cuts
worst.
as they throw a
that
punch.
So
yeah,
much.
exactly.
The worst is when they can fight. It looks like they've been choreographed well, and then they cut so fast that you can't see what's going on. That is just dumb. So many series on Netflix do that, and I was really worried that they were going to do that for this, because even the last Bourne film, the new one with Matt Damon, had a lot of fast cuts in it, and we know he can handle himself, but they didn't show a lot of it. So same feeling. I am now worried as to whether we're even going to get a second season. Because Netflix have been going on a cancelling spree once again. Things that we thought was safe as well, or that were predictably much cheaper, that they would probably get 2 or 3 or 4 seasons, even though they weren't particularly good. Blockbuster, not a great series, but could easily have had 4 or 5 low budget. There was another season just this week that it was fairly high profile that was cancelled again. Last week we had a couple. Netflix are just like doubling down. If you don't have the numbers, you're not getting a second season, regardless of your following. And this is new, so we don't know.
Yeah, well, and the way, and that's probably the weakest thing about this show for me.
I agree. Yeah.
Was the ending, because it didn't. It answered one thing. It kind of concluded one little bit, sort of.
It didn't really. It kind of opened it up more.
Well, it did, and it opened up so much more. And so all of this, like I had said in my review, it all feels like prologue now.
Yeah, I would agree. I do like where it's going, and I'm hoping I'm right about a certain thing happening, and it's not actually gone the way I think they've shown us. I think there could be, because I said in my review I didn't want to watch it anymore because I can't believe they've done that sort of thing. Yeah, especially when you spend so much time doing that thing, and then you get to that thing. I'm sorry, I'm really skirting around the edges, not because I don't want to spoil it. Yeah, but in this day and age, with what we live in a very now, do you have the numbers? To write a story that is so open-ended is a disservice to your fans, because the least you need to do is go, here's a little bit, maybe even in an end credit scene or something, here's a thing that could happen in the second season if we get a second season. But for now, we've concluded this arc. Make it another 2 episodes longer and, do a season, because honestly, literally nothing is safe. Doesn't matter how big you are or what cast or who's in it.
Yeah.
As we've seen this week with James Gunn rewriting DC, nothing is safe.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just there was a character in this, and I'm going to be vague also, but this character continually pissed me off, even though they had the best of intentions, but they kept causing problems because of meddling. And it's like, just stop. Just and I loved that tension that it created in me, because I didn't want to dislike the character, because the character itself is not dislikable and not a bad character, but the actions unintended.
But stop. Yeah. I think it's written in that way on purpose. There is a character that I love to watch, but I feel for, and is probably my favorite character, but is not part of the main arc. The dude in The Office who is
Christian Brun.
Yeah, he's a broken man. You come at him in a time of life where he spent a few years already. This is what our new lawyer has to look forward to in a few years, and he's literally you're just watching a man breaking down further and further into a hole so deep that he will literally just be a puddle. You will walk in one day and he probably will have a sort of stroke, or some sort of like mucus will be falling out the corner of his mouth, and he'll be sucking his thumb, rocking back and forth. I mean, he essentially is doing that anyway. But watching him break down or just be at like tension level 49 out of 10 is hilarious.
And he did it so well, too. That's the thing, that he was just, I mean, he was exasperated the entire time. And you feel for him. And yet, see, that comedy right there, that worked for me. Because it felt natural versus the duo where that felt kind of misplaced.
They didn't really know what to do with them. Like, what is the point of them?
Yeah. Well, and I never got the whole rivalry type of thing. And like,
why is it everybody at the CIA is against each other and nobody's working together as a team? I thought that was really weird. I was like, if that's the way you run the CIA, nothing gets done ever.
It's plausible deniability. See, if I don't know about it, then I can't be called.
There is a moment with I don't think it's words, but there's a moment when there's a meeting and everybody speaks in riddles. That guy with that thing is a thing of the MacGuffin with the whatchamacallit. Yeah, that's totally gone blue for the black guy with the little birdie thing. And he's just like, yeah, but Asia said, no, like, no, la 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 la. Because plausible deniability. Very clever.
When they all just, it is like that. It's that whole visceral reaction by everybody else. And
but still, yeah, great fun.
Yeah, it is. I really hope that this gets renewed, at least for a second season. But I do agree with you, too, that, you know what, we need to, on these new series, they need to start wrapping up their main storyline and, you know, of this story that we're getting. And then you can open it up for future stories that could continue on. But when you don't answer any of them, that's rough.
Yeah, it's rough. Anywho, my first one is a bit of a double whammy. I'm going to talk about The Witcher Blood Origins and The Witcher Wild Hunt. The Witcher Wild Hunt has just been released for new consoles. It's an update that's free if you already had the PS4 versions or the previous version, and they've included some Netflix content that has come from the series to be in the upgraded graphics. I've been playing it this week, and they've done some amazing stuff with the controllers, putting the character closer to the screen. It's just so much fun. One of the best stories in gameplay ever. So it looks fantastic again. It's on new consoles. Go and try it out. If you've played it the first few times, you're going to love it. If you haven't played it before, you're in for a massive treat. Consequences, man. I was again looking up a storyline because I wasn't sure. I wanted a particular character to survive, but I wasn't sure what path or stories I had to do first in order for that character to survive. And then I realized I had to sacrifice a bunch of children to make another character survive. Ooh. Those are the type of choices you have to make in this game, and it's just like, but there's no happy answer. There's no good answer. It's just horror or worse, right? Or horror. And those are the stories you'll always remember. So if you're looking for good story in gaming and you get to be that character, it's fantastic. That new camera, it moves closer to the character with fighting and on your horse. So instead of being further out, it makes you feel almost like first person, but not quite. You're still third. Fantastic. They have two difficulties. One for Gwent, the card game that they've got in there. You can like, do you want to win at the card game now, or do you want to lose? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to choose easy so I can feel like a champion. I would suggest choosing story mode if you don't want to play a hard game. You're just there for story, because that's going to take us time. And then we have Witcher Blood and Origins, the first kind of new Witcher content we've had for a while. We've had the anime, which I thought was incredible, Nightmare of the Wolf. we're getting season 3, Henry Cavill's last Witcher outing, and now we have the prequel as to the origins of the Witcher. Basically, this is the creation of the first Witcher. Surprisingly, it's only 4 episodes. It's very quick, one and done, and I think that is its biggest weakness. Just as you're starting to love those characters, it ends. It's just like, oh, that's it. So the creature designs are fantastic. It's the first time this world is experiencing creatures, because there is a convergence, a conjunction of stuff that happens that basically enables the Witcher to be born. If you remember like season 2 of The Witcher, you'll remember how traumatizing it is to become a Witcher, and they go through that, but way worse because it's the first one. Michelle Yeoh is incredible, but the cast here within are fantastic as well. There is a bunch of hate for this series already, because apparently from what lore there is from the books, the writers have changed them, and so before anybody's even seen it, they have prejudged it. Like on my review, it's just blah 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 boop comments and just a bunch of thumbs down. I know people can't see that, but if I could show you, it would be like, this is people judging before it's even out.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. I have the screeners for this. I haven't watched yet, but I've been looking forward to it.
I loved it. I mean, it's not brilliant. I don't think it's on Witcher scale. I don't think they've had the Witcher budget, but for what you get, I mean, you got to come at the perspective, it's a fantasy series that's 4 episodes long, that's starting something that is their adaptation and version of it. It's not the books, it's not the games, it's their idea of it. So if you want something that is so closely related to it, that's not going to be it. I like new and different. I like people's takes on it. I am able to put my own feelings aside and go, hey, this is a new art and style of it. I'm loving the actors, love the costumes, the score is incredible, and the monsters look brilliant. And that's all I need from a fantasy series, really.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. And so this is really, it's more so like a standalone type of thing that lives within the universe of The Witcher, but is not necessarily.
There is a wonderful connection to The Witcher, though. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's done really well that way. I thought, I wonder how and if. And and you kind of, I guess you kind of get it from the trailer if you've seen the trailers, but yeah. It's very cool.
So that answers then why they can do it differently then, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Upset to be upset.
It does seem like that anything now, I mean, especially now, after The Lord of the Rings, anything that has pre-books, those fans come out in their droves and will not like anything new. I mean, Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power is a classic. Yeah. We had the Amazon fantasy series. People hated that.
Wheel of Time.
Yeah, Wheel of Time. So you can't do anything new. Sometimes it just is just bad, but that's again everybody's perception.
Well, and really, nobody else has seen it yet. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't, go in with the open mind of like, well, let's just see how this is.
Hating on something, but then I think they will stick to their guns because they don't want to be shown up, right? Like even if they liked it, or they won't allow themselves to like it, they'll go in with the mindset of, this is crap. Oh, look what they did there. Oh, I saw somebody's wire work or something. They'll find bits to hate about it.
Yeah. Okay. So I saw a tiny movie this week.
Okay. Tiny as in small on screen or short in length?
Short in length, small in scale. It was almost an indie film, I think. It was a sequel though. It was called Avatar: The Way of Water.
Tiny.
Yeah. Let me just say this. Okay, so I'm not going to talk spoilers because a lot of people, including yourself, have not seen this yet, and so it's 3 hours and 12 minutes, which I know I can go most of the day without having to pee. There is something though about sitting in a movie, that your brain and your bladder just go, nah, let's make them uncomfortable. About for like over the last hour, I had to really pee, but we had gotten to the final climax battle type of thing. Yeah. And I didn't want to. And because I'd never seen it, obviously, I didn't know when is an appropriate time, if there's even an appropriate time. So before I even talk about the movie, I mean, at the end of it, my stomach and my bladder hurt so bad, I couldn't even stand up from the chair.
Did you walk like a duck?
Well, at first, no, before even that, I had to scooch my butt off of the chair so I could kind of just lean forward and not use any muscles because it hurt so bad. And then, yes, I waddled to the bathroom.
So can you tell us, without spoilers, good pee breaks?
Yes, exactly. Yes, and that's what I wanted to do. There are moments where, when the family arrives at the water location, and then the first time, like a lot of the kids especially go into the water, there are minutes of them just looking around, floating and just observing underwater. And beautiful. I mean, it's breathtaking. There's not much going on in this time, so this is a perfect opportunity to run out really quick and pee.
Cool.
Yeah. So when you see that, especially, and I can't remember her name, she's like the older daughter type thing, and that'll make sense later. But especially her when she's looking, because she's just like in awe and wonder. You have a minute that you can, 2 minutes maybe, that you can run and relieve yourself and then run back in. So you'll be good to go there. So what's obvious about this is it's stunning. I mean, the visuals are phenomenal to look at. It's a high frame rate for most of it, which that was odd.
That's weird.
Not all of it. No, there are a couple of times where you see it's visibly different, where it is not that high frame rate. And like sometimes when you see like in a series or anything else, you can tell when they've shifted cameras and that camera is now using like even a higher shutter speed so that they can capture some more of the action, in a crisper way and stuff like that. So it's obvious if you know what you're looking for. The high frame rate, it's not like Hobbit high frame rate, which that was just goodness. Off-putting. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not 120 or whatever that was. That was way too. This is I don't know what frame rate it is. Maybe 48, maybe 60, something like that. So it's like double-ish. So it does feel a little weird while you're watching. The depth in this still incredible. There's moments that they use the 3D where, like I said in my review, like you look down a rope or bullets are being shot, and it's incredible at how they did that. Because it's not like the bullets are flying off the screen at you. That's never what you get. Like, that old school 3D where you're like, something coming out.
Was there any part of the 3D that your eyes struggled to process the 3Dness? Because I remember in the first Avatar, when we're in the spaceship in the bubble, the first time they come out of that for me and most of my family were going, whoa. When we're on the planet, it was fine, and we got to experience that 3D, the ash, the burning forest, that kind of stuff.
I didn't. I mean, there is a spot that it shows in space, and the depth is incredible in that also, and it gave me vertigo.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
it just for a moment, but it literally, because of what the camera is doing and everything, it's the same thing happened to me in the first movie when they're running along the floating rock type of things, and and the camera then looks down. I got vertigo at that also. I was like, oh wow, that's just a little too real.
Amazing.
Yeah. So there are little bits, I think, but for me, like, in the space and everything, I mean, it's, whoa, you get to see everything. I've noticed some, the visuals, phenomenal. The creature design outstanding. I mean, it just because now we're in the water, it still feels very like Pandora.
Yeah.
I mean, he's taken the land creatures and then made water
them
creatures
water creatures
that feel like that they're part of the same world. I mean, they're not all the same and anything like that, but just
is there the same amount of wonder that you get? Because that was part of my favorite bits when you touch a plant and suddenly it goes, or the spinning tree lizard thing. Is there moments like that?
There are moments like that, yeah. Especially underwater, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
So it happens differently. The
Story?
I've seen a lot of. I'm sorry, what?
I was going to say the story. I've heard the criticism that it's the same as the first one.
It's not totally.
Okay.
The impetus may start out the same, like the whole. I don't even know if they use the word unobtainium. They might once, which is just the stupid name, but whatever.
Isn't that the same thing that the X-Men have to deal with? No, that's adamantium. Someone else uses unobtainium. What's the metal in the MCU?
Vibranium.
Oh, okay. Adamantium, vibranium, and unobtainium. They're all stupid, sorry.
Yes. So the story, does it have similarities? Yes, it does. And I've seen criticisms that talk about, I didn't feel any family connection in this. I didn't feel any connection to the characters. I disagree with that. Now, I felt that this was a good story about family. Is it the best story about family? No, it is not. But you see a lot of different aspects within this that all tie together and and share similar lines so that they can reinforce each other. Like you may have a character who feels like an outcast or like overlooked. Well, that plays out in other ways also. You might have one that's lonely, and that also plays out in other ways. The stress of just protecting family, and especially with Jake Sully's character, we're seeing him in a different role because he was soldier, and now he's dad, but soldier still, and that trying to negotiate that. The movie does set up for number 3. Some of the story has been resolved within this, but then it's definitely a continuation. Like there is a lot more to tell in this. So it's almost like it could be, I don't know if part 1, because I felt like the story, it had some resolutions to it.
Yeah.
And it has some emotional moments as well. The action and the intensity, the urgency of it, it was really good. It became very exciting. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I don't normally pay for 3D.
Yeah.
Ever, and if a movie that I go to is that, well, actually, I don't even search it out. I don't want to pay the extra for it. But
yeah,
Avatar, this one.
How much of a cliffhanger is it?
It's not a cliffhanger.
Okay.
It's a
because we're definitely getting the third one, but it only comes out in December 24.
Yeah. So it's not, what do I want to say? It's not a cliffhanger, but it's definitely, you feel that there is more to tell, that this is leading someplace else, and that there will be more conflict brewing. And it feels also, this is really, I think, passing the torch.
Right.
The kids are more of the focus in this even though you have Jake Sully and Neytiri, except she's in it less than I thought she was going to be, which I had a theory from the trailers, which of what it was, and I'm not going to say what the theory is, and I'm not going to say whether or not I was right or wrong, but just her amount of screen time did surprise me a little bit. It was less than I thought it was going to be, but this is that passing of the mantle, where I think story number 3 is going to focus heavily on the kids and the next generation, and you will see even less of Sully and Neytiri. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. I heard James Cameron speak this week saying that if audiences don't embrace the second one, the third one it's written like it can be the end of the Pandora story. So he has he has like a mini conclusion there ready to go if it doesn't work out. So the man is arrogant, but he's proven that his arrogance is worth, like his track record is like, I'm allowed to be. He's the one guy, probably in film at the moment, that can be arrogant because he has a reason. You know, he makes all the money. I think it's on 70 million now, and it's been out for a day and a half. It's incredible, really. What he. Yeah. But I know that it's all 5 scripts are written. Most of 3 is filmed. I think they've just got to do the end. They've filmed some of 4. And they're waiting to go and do 5, and then he's talked about his story for 6 and 7 if the world likes it.
Which
the guy is like, I'm Avatar now. That's me, James Cameron Avatar.
If and if he could do more with the world, you have to take the story in a different direction. I think it has to move on.
It may even need to move on from a different planet, like. Does it have to always be on Pandora?
Well, do they have? Oh no, it doesn't really, because it's just the whole point is the avatars.
Yeah, exactly.
That become. Yeah.
Anyway, it's fun. I'm really looking forward to. We're going as a family on Christmas Eve. It's a yearly Christmas movie. This is the one we've chosen to watch for spectacle. Nice. I think it will do that at least.
Totally. I think you're going to have fun with it. For nothing else from the visual standpoint, but it's entertaining. And if you liked the first Avatar movie, there's no reason to not like the second Avatar movie. So.
Okay.
What's next?
I'm trying to decide whether I want to save the stuff for the audio segment, because we're talking about the Golden Globes, and the stuff that I've seen this week has mostly been to do with the Golden Globes. So we could do an exclusive bit there. I can say that I'm continuing to watch Alchemy of Souls. I'm doing weekly episode reviews. I've roped in my wife because she's sitting in the bed next to me while I watch these episode reviews, and now she's like, are we watching a new episode? So she is gripped into the thing that makes this series good is it's just a soap drama. It's like it's one of those that once you know the characters a bit, you can't help but be involved in their whatever they're going through. And season 2, I would say, is so far for me isn't as good as season 1.
Okay.
Because we do have a kind of changing of the guard. The actress that played the first one isn't in the second one, and so they've written in the storyline. That also makes sense. It's a very clever storyline, but a lot of the comments are like, but it's not her, and we're giving it a chance. We like where the story is going. We just hope it gets there more. I am inclined to I like the drama, but give me some damn action. I've seen you guys do action before. There's a lot more drama than action at the moment. So fingers crossed it continues to develop its story. There's only 10 episodes this season, so it's not like the last one is 20 episodes, but each episode is an hour and 20 minutes long. So
it's meaty.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama. Chris. Is there anything else on your list?
Briefly, I watched because a lot of people had recommended this to us when I watched RRR. And the director of that, back in 2012, I think it was, he directed this movie called Eega, which is The Fly. And the premise, it just arrived on Netflix. So I checked it out, and it's... how
do you spell that?
Eega.
Eega.
And it is...
Okay, so it's not in the UK.
Oh, poo. Maybe it's on Prime there, because it was on Prime here for quite a while. But you have this guy who is in love with this girl, and he flirts with her and everything, and this other guy, this bad guy, the antagonist, also likes this girl, but he's a bad guy. And he ends up killing the dude, the first dude.
Okay, Prime. Well done.
Nice. Okay, sweet. The guy that gets killed, he's reincarnated as a fly. And
what?
Yes, you heard me, a fly. And he now is exacting his revenge on the dude that killed him.
Oh my, as a fly.
As a fly. Dude.
So how does he do that?
I said it's kind of like a long Mr. Bean sketch. You saw Man versus Bee? Kind of like that, except better.
It's hopefully better than that. Yeah.
Yeah. The graphics, some of the graphics are amazing. Some of it feels very dated.
Right.
The best thing, or at least the way that you go into this movie, though, is there is dialogue at the very beginning that is the most important to set up why we're watching this story. Okay. And it allows then for any ridiculousness that you see happen. Like it then fits within the world because of what is set up at the very, very beginning. And it's just voiceover. So you want to make sure that you're really paying attention to that. And it's just a lot of fun. I mean, it's silly. There are the song and dance numbers. There's crazy, crazy action. There's so many plot conveniences in this. And yet, it's just a lot of fun because you watch this fly doing things and tormenting this guy. And the buzzing of the ear and of the eye and everything. And just the sound effects. I was like, zzz, and I'm like, oh gosh, that's like, when you hear a fly in the house and it's like trying to get out or it's banging against the window or something like that. And it's just, it drives me nuts. And so it's fun. It's a little long, the movie, but, listing all these negatives, there are points where it feels a tiny bit repetitive because, you're watching Thing antagonize the villain reacts, Thing antagonizes the villain reacts, Thing, right. Repeat that. There's still an emotional arc within there also because this is kind of a love story as well. And again, you always have to go back to the very beginning that explains the ridiculousness that you watch going forward. But I am not upset that I watched this at all. It was fun. It was kind of what I needed. Also, I needed something a little silly and something just a little weird. And this fit all of that bill. The song and dance is not excessive. The slow-mo is not excessive. There is slow-mo, but a lot of the time it's showcasing the action for the fly because the fly is so tiny that sometimes we want to see what it's doing or how it's reacting to something coming at it or as it's maneuvering something. And so it will slow down a little bit to show us that detail and then speed up and we get to see the chaos that ensues.
Can you see how the director went from that to RRR?
No.
Really?
No. Yeah. The story, I mean, if you go from love story, yes. If you go from some of the action, I think, yeah, okay, you can see that too. Just by taking something that's unexpected, I'm going to have my character throw a tiger. you know, okay, yeah, I can see that, but the stories are different. Well, maybe not. Maybe they are the same too, because you have underdog. It's an underdog story.
Yeah.
You know, this RRR, I think, is much. It's evolved. You can tell that it's more mature. It's more developed in the themes. It's not as ridiculous, even though it has ridiculousness to it. And that's not to detract from Eega at all. I'm not saying that as a bash towards Eega. It's just, you know, as a filmmaker, I mean, it's what, 10 years difference. So he's done different things. He's learned new things, you know, changed, whatever. So definitely worth at least adding to your list to check out at some time. You don't have to necessarily rush right out and watch it, but if you do have Netflix and you enjoyed RRR and you do want something that's a little weird, there you go.
Okay. I'd like us to watch 3 Idiots.
Yes,
because it's
that
a movie
is on
that
my list.
People keep asking us to watch. I haven't seen it yet. I have some people saying it's the best movie ever, like literally, like as a standard. And I'm like, is it though? Because it doesn't look great. So my perceptions of it is like, okay.
So let's for the new year. That'll be one. Let's watch that for one of the moving into the new year. We'll
Patreons maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll see.
We can talk about it. Okay, so let us know your top films of that nature, of stuff that we haven't reviewed, maybe we've missed. I know there's been a few on your channel and on mine, Chris, that people keep mentioning, have you seen this, haven't you seen this? Sometimes we get to them when we have time and space.
Yes, I definitely add them to my list, which is very long.
Never ending list. But for our audio exclusive, we're going to be talking about the Golden Globes.
Yes.
I believe we're ranking our top 3, the nominations at least.
Oh, I just went with my
who you thought was going to win.
Yes. Not even necessarily who I felt I should win. I was going mostly on who I think is going to win.
Oh, because of okay, cool. So that'll be interesting. So we're talking Golden Globes, and we're going to talk about Delicatessen, which I think will be very interesting because we both hadn't seen it before, I believe. Had you seen it before, Chris?
I had not seen it before, no.
And there's been I've been catching up on the movies that I've missed this year. I had a great time this week watching some really quality films, so that I could prepare myself for the Golden Globe. So there's going to be some first-time reactions from Ruben.
Nice.
And we have news, which has been an interesting week of news, especially to do with DC. And then we're going to be talking about the things we're looking forward to, not necessarily that we'll review, because this coming week is going to be our Christmas sort of special, and the following week will be our D&D special. Anything else that I missed, Chris?
Nope. That's it. Our Patreon is this week talking about our top 3 Christmas Carol adaptations, from which there are thousands, no, probably not thousands, but a lot to choose from.
So many.
Yeah, more than 3, more than 7, more than 15, I think. So, you can head over there, patreon.com/thebeardedones. It's also down in the description below. You can always tweet at us, best we watched. And like Ruben was talking about, our exclusive audio available on any podcasting platform that you listen to. If you happen to go over there and listen, please rate and review us. Also, that would be outstanding. We have linked right to the in the description below, right to the site where you can hear all the episodes. So there is that as well. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe to each of our channels. Ruben with the Ruby Tuesday. Me, Chris, Movies and Munchies. And with that, hey, we will see you. Well, we'll see you in next week and the week after that, but it will be a little different. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, all of that.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yes, all of the...
However you celebrate,
Or if you do not celebrate. Happy Tuesday. or whatever day you happen to be watching this on. We do appreciate your eyeballs and your time. And all right, take care. We'll see you. Bye.
I'd like to collect eyeballs. You know, like Dolph Lundgren collected ears.
Yeah.
I think I collect eyeballs as a nice necklace. That'd be unique Christmas.
Would they dry
necklace.
out though?
They might do.
That
I've never tried out eyeballs before.
I haven't either. I mean, I think you could keep them in a jar.
Oh,
That would be weird.
maybe like a miniature jar with like and you just bring them with you, and then you can say,
you could put it on a necklace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Depending on the size of it, you could either, if you were just going out on the town, 4 or 5 eyeballs. But then if you needed to really show off, you get a heavy duty chain.
Oh yeah, like that's your bling.
Quart jar that,
Yeah.
There's something wrong with.
Check out these babies.
I see you. You could take it to the Avatar premiere.
Oh, you
I
totally
see
could.
you.
Yeah. Do you see? I see you, Jake Sully.